Hi, my name is Emily Grenier, and I'm going to teach you how to derive the quadratic formula from a quadratic equation written in standard form. Now, the quadratic equation written in standard form is this: ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And we want to get this to equal x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. That's a mouthful and very nerve-wracking, but don't worry, we can figure it out. Let's take it step by step. The first step is to subtract both sides by c. So, subtract by c and subtract by c, which will get you to ax squared plus bx equals negative c. Now, we need x to equal 1 because we need to figure out this whole equation by completing the square. So, to do that, we're going to divide everything by a. Divide by a, divide by a, and divide by a. That's going to give us x squared plus b over a, x equals negative c over a. Now, we need to take this term right here and divide it by 2 and then square it so that we can find our c term that we add to both sides. So, b over a times 1/2, because remember, the same thing, if you want to multiply by 1/2, that's dividing by 2, and if you want to divide by 2, you multiply by 1/2. See, they're the same. So, that's all going to equal b over 2a. Now, we need to square it. Square it, which equals b squared all over 4a squared. Now we need to take this term and add it back to our equation. So, what we do is this: x squared plus b over ax plus our new b squared over 4a squared, which equals negative c over a plus, again, the b squared over 4a squared. Now, we need to factor this because that's part of completing the square. So factoring this would make it look like x plus b over 2a squared. Because if we multiply this by ourselves, it's going to equal b squared over 4a squared. And that's all going to equal the negative c over a plus b squared over 4a squared. But this right side isn't very friendly right now. We want to combine these, so we need to make sure they have the common denominator. And to do that, we're going to multiply negative c over a by the least common factor, which is 4a. So that's going to equal negative c over a times 4a over 4a, and then we're add it all to the b squared over 4a squared. This comes out to negative 4ac all over 4a squared plus the b squared over 4a squared. Now let's move up here. So now we're going to rewrite our equation. We have x plus b over 2a squared equals, I like to do b squared minus the 4ac all over 4a squared. Because, we can move signs around now that they have the common denominator. As long as we make sure the signs stay with the number, it all works. Now, we still need to solve for x, but this little squared term is here, so we just need to square root both sides. When we square root both sides, this is what happens. X plus b over 2a equals, now we're going to square root the numerator and the denominator. It's going to be plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. But here, still not x by itself, need to subtract both sides from b minus b over 2a. Subtract from b over 2a, subtract b over 2a, and it's going to come down to this. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. This is the quadratic equation formula. We have gotten from here to here in these steps. If you take it step by step, it's very easy. I'm Emily Grenier, and this is how you solve a quadratic equation written in standard form to get the quadratic formula.